Hey guys, Zeno here, and welcome back to the channel. So, modding Battalion Wars 1. Sorry to say, I'm sad to say, I'm not going to be going back to it. I'm not going to be doing custom campaign missions anymore. I'm just not. I don't have the motivation, nor I have the want to. I really want to get back to it, but I just do not have the motivation. Last night, I was actually in the process of making another custom mission, emptying the level out, and I decided, you know, what would be a good idea is I would pull up the Yoshi's Battalion Wars model viewer to the right, to my second monitor, while having the level editor over here on this primary monitor that I'm facing now. And on the right, on the level editor, on this primary monitor, I would take everything and shove it to the side, basically. And on the right, I would look through the model viewer and look at every single model and look at the one I wanted. When I found it, I looked at the model name, memorized the model name, come back over here to this monitor, look at this monitor, and look at the level editor to figure out what's what. But the problem with that is I would be spending hours upon hours just pressing each object, looking for the specific model so I can move that object over here. It's the same with the others. I might even have to duplicate a few, but point is, when I got through that, I'm thinking it would be so much easier if this was just a 3D, if there was a 3D version of this level editor. Now, I was talking with a member of the Battalion Wars community, Moldy, and he says, and I quote, which I'm going to be honest, I don't believe it for a fucking second, that the devs did not use a 3D level editor when making this game. And there's my dog in the background looking out the window like a crazy puppy. He says for a second that they didn't use one, which I highly doubt they did not use a 3D level editor for this. Personally, I think he was being full of shit about it. But he says if we were, everything would be scattered and the levels wouldn't be as they were, which again, I find it hard to believe that that's the case. I find it hard to believe that would be the case. But regardless, he could be telling the truth, but personally, I think he's full of it. Now, when I was originally doing my custom campaign missions, you know, they were obviously very badly programmed. I eventually got better at it. But, yeah, I had an issue with my laptop at the time. It was actually, this piece of shit had crashed, and I lost all my original files. Now, there are a few missions that there's only 3 missions that exist. The Custom Wars campaign mission is on this. It's still on there. I had actually charged it up to get the tools from this. It's on this. And I could pick up from it. But again, the problem is the motivation. Now, if the tools were updated to make it a lot more bearable and a lot more easier, instead of having 5 separate tools and it was all integrated into one singular tool, kind of like how you would mod Paper Mario 64, then that's a completely different story. I could see getting back into modding Battalion Wars. I can see doing all that and getting the custom missions back out. And I actually commented on one of Kupinik's recent custom campaign mission videos, and he said what's really needed is a way to edit the pathfinding, aka the POZ file, which contains the pathfinding and everything for all the, you know, no-go zones and whatnot. But right now the problem for me is motivation and the tools being outdated, or not necessarily outdated, but not where they should be. Now, if I had the knowledge, I had the skills, I would absolutely, without a doubt, make sure. I would probably make my own tools, make it to where the things that I've talked about in this video were possible things to happen. But again, the problem also stems from, you know, what we could have is not being done to people who have the knowledge to get these tools updated and fixed. Not necessarily fixed, but better. They're not doing it. They say they want to, but they're not doing it. They're off doing other things, and this is the and to me, this is just me, but if you or say you're going to do something, you need to do it instead of wasting your time and wasting other people's times and getting their hopes up. I'm going to do this with this tool, make it better. Several months down the line, you've not done one single damn thing with it. You've looked at it, maybe changed one or two things, maybe once or twice, but you haven't done anything with it at all. You haven't done anything. That's what aggravates me the most. Anyways, and that's not bashing Moldy or anybody. I mean, they do kind of need to get off their asses and get it, get the train going. But nevertheless, they do a lot of good work. They do a lot of good things for this community. It's just, I hate to see the fact that there are a lot of people in this community that would probably absolutely go ape shit if these tools were updated and upgraded to the point where we could do a lot more with the missions. Maybe, mess with the terrain, edit the pathfinding so that the terrain's good, so we can make these custom missions a whole lot better. And with 3D level editors and figuring all that out, I mean, can you imagine the possibilities of the campaign missions or even the multiplayer missions for Battalion Wars 2? I mean, and here's another thing. Moldy knows how to add extra levels to Battalion Wars 2, so we could have more multiplayer missions. But again, the problem is he's not done anything with that knowledge. I know it seems like a rant, and I know it seems like I'm attacking people in the modding Battalion Wars community, and I guess I kind of am, but don't get me wrong, I'm very appreciative of the things that a lot of these people have done and continue to do, but when you sit there and talk about the things you want to do, and trust me, these people are talented enough and smart enough to do what they're saying they want to do, but the problem is, they're just not doing it, and it's a shame, because this is a great game. I mean, by all means, it is a dead game. It is still a very great game that has a lot of potential and could potentially be revived. Problem is they're just not doing anything about that potential. I mean, there is a group of people out there making a spiritual successor to it, and they're doing a really fantastic fucking job. But nevertheless, I'm not going to be returning to modding Battalion Wars 1 missions. I mean, I have the notes, I have the tools, I have everything I need to get back into it and do it if I wanted to, but I don't know, I just can't see myself doing it. I know that might disappoint a few people that I know, but I'm sorry, but I just can't do it. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys understand, and hope you'll stick around. Later.